The governor of the Belgorod region, Vyacheslav Gladkov, claims that the Russian authorities allegedly control the region. Today the enemy is not on the territory of the Belgorod region. Many people ask about Novaya Tavalzhanka. The enemy is not in the territory of Novaya Tavalzhanka either. But nevertheless, Russian Telegram channels report ongoing fighting in the region, and the soldiers of the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Freedom of Russia Legion published a new video, which confirms that they are on the territory of the Belgorod region. Subversive groups began to enter the Belgorod region in May. The Russian Volunteer Corps and the Freedom of Russia Legion take full responsibility for the hostilities. Shebekino remains the hottest point for today. The city began to be shelled in October 2022. In May 2023, the leadership of the Belgorod region reported 130 attacks. Now people are being evacuated from here. Local residents believe that they are of no use to anyone.
It's a shame for a Belgorod region that they do not protect us. This is the most offensive.
Drone attacks on Moscow, constant shelling of the Belgorod region. The authorities practically do not react to what is happening. According to experts, they may simply not report this to Putin, since he is isolated from the outside world. The goal of people close to him is to report only positive news to the dictator.
Just some news that are not big, which will not bring him out of a state of mental balance, because it can be difficult for him at his age.
Out of fear of losing power, analysts say Putin does not want to admit that war has come to Russia, and local officials simply do not have an algorithm for how to act in such a situation.
The dissident Russian responses to and reporting about the limited raid in the Belgorod region continue to suggest that the Russian leadership has not yet decided how to react to these limited cross-border raids. Russian responses have primarily centered on informational effects, and there is no indication that the Russian leadership has set a wider policy for preventing further limited raids into Russian border regions. From a report by the Institute for the Study of War.
The inconsistency of actions on the ground is the result of the corruption of the authorities. Experts are sure there is simply no one and nothing to fight back, because initially those in power were going to steal, not fight.
80% of the money that was spent on this defense was stolen. Therefore, this line of defense did not appear in fact. The policemen and the Federal Security Service ran away when the Freedom of Russia Legion, this is the city of Shebekino we have now, we barely left from the shelling.
The head of the Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin, has already announced if the Russian authorities do nothing for 2 weeks, he will send his mercenaries to the Belgorod region. In Russia, there is the most serious military-political crisis when the head of, let's say, by Russian standards, the most combat-ready military unit throws down a direct challenge to the leadership of the Ministry of Defense. Even if Wagner PMC enters the Belgorod region, the situation will not change. Experts are sure. Nobody out of Russian authorities are going to protect people. After all, the main thing for officials in Russia is to keep their positions, and people are expendable material for them. Reported by Pavel Steinmach, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.